The infamous creatures of the night have taken a bite out of the video game world.
You smell new, little girl, like fabric softener dew on freshly mowed AstroTurf.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 video game vampires. For this list, we've chosen the characters from video games that both fit and break the conventional framework of what is considered a vampire. Our choices are based on a mixture of fan votes, popularity, and our own personal preferences. We're sticking to one per franchise, and there will be the odd spoiler here and there, so a spoiler warning is officially in effect.
Thy worth is too great.
Number 10, Remilia Scarlet, Touhou Project Series. It's amazing how cute girls and bullet hell gameplay go hand in hand, am I right? A long-running character of the ever-expanding franchise, Remilia was originally the final boss of the series' 6th installment, though she has since become a playable character. The owner of the pleasantly named Scarlet Devil Mansion, she has a reputation for being something of a brat despite being over 500 years old. You might find her cute, you might find her annoying, but whatever you do, don't underestimate her, because this little lady packs a hell of a punch. Number 9, Natera, Mortal Kombat Series.
Natera stared into the orb. It seethed with the power trapped within.
In a fighting game franchise where you have a humanoid lizard, robots, a thunder god, and even a friggin' predator, is it any surprise that we got a vampire competing in the bloodiest tournament of all time? First introduced in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Natera encompasses many of the classic vampire traits, a seductive appearance, and a tendency to rip a combatant's throat out with her teeth, to name just a few. While she's been largely absent from the series since the reboot, we're hoping she gets a good revamp soon so we can see her blood-soaked return to form. Number 8, Dimitri Maximoff, Darkstalker Series. This former resident of Makai is as classic a vampire as you can get in terms of origin and personality. After being banished by Belial Morrigan, Dimitri spent a number of decades recovering his strength, dining on the blood of innocent girls, and gathering his forces before he was ready for a rematch. Able to summon both bats and flames, he's a stellar choice for any newcomer to the fighting game franchise. Of course, we can't talk about Dimitri without mentioning his famous, or rather infamous technique that involves turning his opponents into more arousing forms before he drains them of their blood. Oh, Dimitri, you scoundrel. Number 7, Cerana, The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, Dawnguard.
Oh, wonderful. A war of succession. Good to know the world didn't get boring while I was gone.
Creatures of the Night have always held a good spot in the Elder Scrolls lore, but without a doubt their highlight came from Skyrim's DLC.
You disappoint me, Cerana.
Following a sudden assault, the Dragonborn discovers the sleeping body of Cerana, one of the last pure-blood vampires. What follows is a thrilling quest to either stop her psychotic father, Lord Harkon, from fulfilling a prophecy, or to help him fulfill that prophecy.
You are prey, like all mortals.
Not only is this questline a blast to play, but it offers interactions with one of the most interesting and conflicted NPCs the franchise has ever created. Damn it, Bethesda, why couldn't we marry her? Come on.
And it all ended with me being locked underground for who knows how long.
Number 6, Rachel Alucard, BlazBlue Series.
Dimensional interruption, imaginary number developing. Connecting to congenital border.
She may look like an upper-class brat who looks down on everyone and, well, she is. But she also happens to be one of the more powerful characters in the franchise. As BlazBlue's resident vampire, Rachel was one of the few characters that was well aware of the endless cycle of destruction that time was constantly looping. Pushing key characters in an attempt to break said loop, her purpose in the game's overall narrative is nothing short of vital. As a combatant herself, she uses her shape-shifting servants and mastery of the dark arts to dish out some major damage. It would be in your best interest to not insult this little lady.
On it! Now, please explain. Why am I here?
Number 5, Smiling Jack, Vampire the Masquerade, Bloodlines.
What a scene, man! Ooh-wee!
When you've got an entire city filled with various vampire clans, you're bound to meet a few rebels here and there. By far the most entertaining is good old Smiling Jack, a key member of the Anak movement and a freedom fighter that lives to disrupt the rules and regulations of modern vampire society. Also, he just so happens to share the same voice with Bender the Robot and Jake the Dog.
Forget that comic book crap, kid.
Anyway, back in the game, he's got a sharper wit than most people give him credit for, and while he could rip you to pieces with his bare hands, he's also able to use his influence in order to eliminate those who would normally be considered untouchable. Just ask Sebastian Lecroix.
They undermine the well-worn fabric of our centuries-old society. Understand my predicament.
Number 4, Vamp, Metal Gear Solid Series. You might be wondering why this member of Dead Cell and expert killer is called Vamp. Is it because he likes to taste the blood of his victims? Is it due to the fact that he can come back from a bullet to the head? Well, to quote Solid Snake,
"No, Vamp isn't for vampire, it's because he's bisexual."
This doesn't make him any less of a dangerous adversary, however, as he's managed to go toe-to-toe with Snake and severely injure Raiden with nothing but a knife. Thanks to the nanomachines coursing through his veins, his agility and apparent invulnerability make him a deadly enemy to go up against. Thankfully, that's nothing a little injection can't fix. Number 3, Cain, Legacy of Kain series.
The pillar accepted its offering. Thus, it was restored.
Constantly blurring the line between anti-hero and straight-up villain, Cain was first introduced as a victim of assassination, only to be restored as a vampire seeking vengeance.
At my whim, the world will be healed or damned.
His hunt for blood eventually led to him embracing the curse with which had been placed upon him, deifying him amongst his brethren. We also have to give a shout out to Raziel, Kain's former lieutenant, who he discarded once he showed signs of surpassing him. With Raziel being resurrected as a Reaver of Souls, the two have come to blows on multiple occasions, though it eventually comes to pass that these two are the only ones capable of bringing balance to Nosgoth.
Your dirty secret is exposed. How could you transform a Sarafan priest into a vampire?
Number 2, Rain, Blood Rain.
Have we met?
Darling, I'm sure you'd remember.
Before Uwe Boll was tarnishing her reputation with those horrific direct-to-DVD flicks, Rain was a poster girl for badass female protagonists, decapitating vampires everywhere she went with the sole goal of slaying the man who violated and killed her mother. An inherently sensual but always calm warrior, this half-vampire is armed with a sick set of blades, a thirst for blood, and a whole host of supernatural abilities. Still not impressed? Well, there was that one time she managed to stop the Nazis from summoning the devil. Not too shabby, huh? Before we reveal our number 1 pick, here are a few bloodthirsty honorable mentions.
We have little need of a consort. Such a path would belike lead to further ruin.
Number 1, Alucard, Castlevania Series.
Father. Well met, my son. It's been a long time.
He may not have been the first person to take on the eternal threat that is Dracula. He wasn't even the original Castlevania protagonist, but there's no one else we'd bet money on to take out the Vampire King than this guy. The son of Dracula and a human mother, Alucard possesses many of the gifts his father has, including shapeshifting and dark magic. Despite his vampire heritage, Alucard lacks a hatred for humanity and is shown to be capable of love. Since he really is the main character of the franchise, he easily beats out his father for the top spot.
The only thing necessary for evil to triumph is for good men to do nothing.
Do you agree with our list?
Die, monster! You don't belong in this world!
Who's your favorite video game vampire?
I'm afraid I must take my leave, but why don't you come see for yourself?
For new top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.